Okay, they forked over like 40 ago.
What fun.
Yeah.
The frickin' vehicle for that. You remember what I'm talking about, right?
God, I hated that. I mean, yeah, this time it comes to the boss battle. It's boring. I mean, yeah, it's inside a computer, but I...
In what version of a computer have you ever seen greenery inside of it? Like, seriously, do you, like, have a gaming PC or anything? Just look at that and tell me, hey, that thing looks like it has money inside of it.
I mean, if 2.2, yay. My god, it's a string. Oh my god, it's not choppy anymore. I'm impressed.
Doesn't take too much to impress him.
Well, no, seriously, they could have programmed something in the game. That,
I'm just saying, if you open up your computer with like a screwdriver or something, you're not going to see any greenery in there. In fact, I would be quite concerned if you opened up your computer and you just seen a tree in there.
Well, this isn't inside a computer. It's inside a computer simulation. It's a program. So they could have programmed something. I mean, if they programmed it themselves, I totally forgot the movie, but how the father and the son.
I never watched the movie. In fact, when I think of Tron, I think of Kingdom Hearts 2 Tron. That's my Tron.
What's your Tron?
That was my back on the old arcade kind of days Tron.
Are you a prisoner?
Because their consciousness or whatever is like inside the computer program.
I also love how Riku gets to see so much more of this world, all because he just said yes to going with them. Like Sora just runs off like, hey, fuck you. Here, Riku's just like, yeah, okay, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Well, Sora's carefree, so.
Yeah, true.
He doesn't think of everything could go wrong, so I have to be careful. He's like, I could take this. It's gonna be fine.
I can take it.
I could take it.
Only a precious few are granted light cycle battle.
What's the worst that can go wrong? I'll help everyone. And even if things do go wrong, everything will get better eventually.
I'll show you.
I love how Riku just automatically knows what to do the second he sees somebody drive past him.
What to do. Nobody has explained this to him before, and he just
does
it.
He's literally just like, can't tell me what to do? Yeah, I'll just show you. Right. Two people on motorcycles go by, and all of a sudden Riku's just like, oh, I have to jump into the air, put this under me, and it turns into a motorcycle. Yeah, okay, why not?
I know, yeah, I mean, you couldn't have thought, maybe I have to press a button somewhere on it, and then put it on the ground, and then, like stand over it, and then it will turn into a bike? No, he just runs, and he turns it into a bike. So, automatically. I mean, do going to the world automatically mean you know, like, everything about the world?
No, in fact, it's been very specifically stated that Sora has no idea where the hell he is. Like, Warhand was in KH2 in Milana's world, and that is exclusively because of Mushu, a summon inside the first game.
Yeah, true. You're like, hey, it's Mushu! That's it.
Yeah, and that's all character ever gets, and like how much they know about a world before, unless they've already been there.
Aqua is a Keyblade Master, and when she went to Enchanted Dominion, she was walking the castle, and she was like, oh my god, this is so pretty.
Well, you have to remember, the thing about the Keyblade Masters with Aqua, Terra, and Ven is they were like taught formally, hey, about the worlds and all that. So it makes sense that they understand more than somebody who like Sora, who literally just got ripped out of his world and popped up in Magic Land.
True. True, very true.
Because you remember, it was specifically stated that Aqua and Terra's master, her area.
Right, and yeah, then you can't tell anybody about other worlds.
Yeah.
which is kind of totally stupid considering if every world has that, like, you know, fairy tale, like, all the worlds are, like, broken up one day, and one day the light will return.
Yeah, they were
Kyrie's
all
grandmother told that story.
Yeah.
Kyrie's grandmother knew about the other worlds because she told that story, and, you know, there's this thing going around, like, all the worlds were all one, but they were all broken up. This is the world that we were broken up on.
Fun fact, hack, you can actually boost your speed way more than you're supposed to if you just spam the shit out of the square button.
It's a black screen again.
Ah, my god. I just cannot get rid of that. No matter what I do.
But then again, Sora, Riku, and Kyrie knew about other worlds. They're like in Cage
Well, they
1,
kinda have. They knew that there were places out there, but they had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
Well, yeah, but they kind of knew that there were other worlds out there somewhere.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they thought it was a great idea to take a raft to those other worlds.
Well, they said there was some place out there. They didn't know it was a completely new worlds or anything about that. Literally, Riku, who just seen his ticket out, it was just like, okay, I don't care where this takes me. I don't care about the repercussions.
He's like, he saw the girls. He's like, well, this is our only chance. We're not going to see our parents again. You know, I'm totally doing this. I'm not scared of the darkness.
Something I loved about Riku's story in Chain of Memory is that besides Maleficent, he literally knows that nobody, and there's nobody inside of his story because of how lonely he was during his journey in KH1. Which means so much to me when you think about it. Sora made all these friends, talked to all these people, so of course his memory, he's all just had different people for him to interact with in the worlds. Riku goes in there and he's just in an empty world, killing Heartless, because that's all he did in KH1. Just completely alone.
Well, not totally alone. He did. He actually showed in Final Mix that where he landed first was Hollow Bastion, and then he was like, Sora, Kyrie, where are you? And then he meant Maleficent.
Yeah, exactly. Maleficent was all he had.
Yeah, Maleficent was all he had. No one else. He had someone, but he had a really bad person to talk to.
You made it. You escaped from the
That's
games.
not the greatest company they had to have.
I know a way off the grid. Want to come with?
No. You go ahead. Wait, what's the way out?
Through the portal.
Portal?
Yeah. It's like a gate that opened when I came here. Once I'm back in the real world, I can delete Clue.
Can we also talk about how there were like tons of people Sora talked to, but yeah, in KH1, the only townspeople, the only civilization he ever saw was in Traverse Town, and it was like, it was just few people walking around town. And then we as players are like, the worlds are so empty. We are totally forgetting about Traverse Town, but you know, that one doesn't count because there's not a lot of people walking around.
Yeah, but at the very least in Travis Town, you had a full group of people with the Final Fantasy game. So at least you had a group there.
Yeah, that's it. Those were the only people. The Olympic
That,
Coliseum, you can hear,
and the entire area got more
cheers.
populated as you went through the game. Don't forget about Geppetto coming in after you do the Monstro World.
Because you can hear the cheers of the people in Olympus Coliseum, but there's
Am I the only one
people
who
there.
thought it was kind of
There's
disturbing
no
that they
one.
tried to do realistic faces in this?
No. It's kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, but that was still
That was
cartoony
kinda
enough.
realistic.
It wasn't like it wasn't good, but it was still cartoony enough for it to be believable. This looks like they were like trying to straight up go off the movie with 3DS graphics, and it does not work.
I didn't find any like problems with it. It was pretty good for its time.
Don't rush.
What do you mean, don't?
Like I said, I was fine in KH2 with it because it still felt cartoony enough. With this, it feels like they were trying to mix things that shouldn't be mixed.
Way out.
It wasn't the worst thing. It doesn't ruin my interpretation of it. It's just, as far as this world goes, I would have preferred, once again, if it was like KH2, where the characters look, well, like programs.
With my disc, it's possible. doesn't dig in perfection. It's more imperfect than our world.
Are you still riding the bike?
I won't.
No, I'm done. Mustn't touch them.
Okay. That must be why it's black.
It's amazing
It'll go back to
how
normal
productive
after
doing
it's
nothing
done with the
can be.
cutscene.
Hopefully, yeah.
Blue's planning something. We've known that for a while. It's his game now. The only way to win is not to play.
Yeah, well, that's a hell of a way to live.
But it is a way.
I always wondered, how the hell are you supposed to fit inside of that bike?
Past things like wants and hopes.
That's great, Dad.
What do you mean?
Keep telling yourself that.
Sam's dad, inside of his, like, little cell room, had an incredibly, like, tiny little bike in there. And I'm just thinking to myself...
Oh, yeah, it was like that model bike.
Mm-hmm.
On the shelf or whatever. Yeah.
No, not the one on the shelf. Like, the one that he's literally standing next to. Like, it's big enough to be a bike, but the way it's, like, made, it, like, looks like you're supposed to be inside of it. And that just wouldn't work.
Maybe that's like a larger model, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just a model. Why would you have a model of a bike just in your room like that?
I don't know. It's not even like one of the standard variations of the light cycles, which is weird again.
Maybe it was
I
a
think the
prototype.
implication is that's how he got in there, but even then.
Do you know what these programs are? He like found out. Like he made the entire program thing, and then he found these life forms there with that girl. I can't remember her name.
Basically, he created a world, and just like our world, sentient life just kind of popped out of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
The reason why he was so impressed is because it was, once again, just like our world. The world was making life on something that was supposed to be desert and barren. So what he essentially had made was a sustainable world, like a living one.
Okay.
That's why he was so amazed by that, because just imagine, and if you created a world so realistic that life itself just started to coming into being.
Hmm. Alright.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I would be pretty impressed by that too.
Alright. Okay, that makes sense. But if it's just sentient life, how come he can still replicate that girl's programming? I mean, if it's sentient life, shouldn't you not be able to do that even if you are sentient life?
Well, if it's made inside of the world of code, that means it's still made up of code, even if it is sentient in its own way. So just by what it's made out of, it's basically the same thing as if somebody was able to mess with our DNA. Which is physically possible. You can take out somebody's DNA and rearrange it. But he's just doing that on a bigger scale because he can, because codes are much easier to do than DDD.
Oh, okay.
So, and like, theoretically speaking, it's possible, it's insane, but that is a physical possibility that could happen one day. Though it's highly unlikely it would ever be as humanoid as what we see. It would probably be something more like what Earth started off with micromolecular cells. Why did I just get into a huge science talk in a video game?
I started it. I started it with that girl.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, yeah, you are sentient life in there. Yes, you are, and like it's still inside computer programming. But you are sentient life. You should not be having like a code attached to you, despite you came from a digital world.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
like
did
you're
the screen go back to normal? I'm just
not.
sitting at the save screen right now.
What?
Did the screen go back to normal? I'm just sitting at the save screen right now.
Nope, still didn't go back to normal. Internet sucks.
It really does. I could try resetting it, but...
Back. Yay, it's back. Yay.
Oh, I was just messing with the router.
Okay.
Damn, this thing is hot. I think it's working. Then again, this router's like a year old, so... Maybe it's not a thing of the internet. Maybe the router's just having a heart attack.
Maybe. It's time to get a new router.
Maybe, and you can get that for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have Century Lake. I'm looking at the router right now. Do you like beef jerky at all?
Beef jerky? Don't think I've tried it.
It's pretty expensive when you consider like normal food, but it's really good, at least in my opinion. And that's saying something because I'm not a big fan of like bacon or anything, but it has a very similar texture.
How can you not like bacon?
I don't know. It just never appealed to me. I'll have it in like a burger or something, but that's about it.
Don't just grill up a pan of bacon and eat it? Just like that?
I will not eat it for breakfast. I will not eat it by itself in any context. It's just I'll have it in a burger with other things because it gives it a bit more texture, but that's about it.
Oh, something about the taste of bacon is like really good. But I have never had beef jerky, I believe.
I like chewier foods, so it's kind of weird that I haven't actually, you know.
Just eating a really good slice of bacon. But I think I've had like regular jerky and I didn't really like it because I think it was like too chewy or whatever.
Yeah. But beef jerky, one of the greatest thing about it, it like lasts forever. You don't need to put it in the fridge or anything. It's just really nice in that way.
What's it taste like? Is it like chewier?
It's like bacon when it comes to like its texture and stuff. The best way I can describe its flavor, it's about a tangy version of like beef.
Really? It's a tangy version?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to describe because I'm not really like that big of like a food person. I can't like I just be like, oh yes, it is a morphine and McNick. That's not my specialty.
You're not a food connoisseur.
Yeah. So it's meat, it's chewy, it's nice.
I have to try it.
Yeah.
When I go to work tomorrow, I think I'll pick up a packet.
What's the best burger you've ever ate?
Best burger I ever ate. I would have to say it is I totally forgot the name of it, but it's roast beef, lettuce, tomato, pepper, green peppers, grilled onions, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of mustard, lots of mayonnaise, and I believe that's it. Oh, and cheese. Cheese, too. Just all of that together. I forgot the name of it, but it's so good. It's so juicy.
Like, everybody takes a burger for granted. It's just a very common type of food, but whenever you get that really, really good burger, it's something special.
Yeah. Like a really nice, fat, juicy piece of meat. Like, and just with lettuce, onion, the grilled onion. Oh, great, I'm getting hungry. Lettuce, tomato, green pepper, just normal pepper.
If there's one type of talk that no matter what kind of person you are, you're going to be able to do with people, it's food talk, because everybody likes food.
Yeah, everybody likes food.
Yeah. And that's kind of like my mold breaker with people. Well, not everybody's big into anime, not everybody's big into gaming. Heck, some people aren't even that big into music like I am, but if you talk food, there you go.
Yeah, you can instantly get him somebody's level.
Yeah.
Instantly get into a conversation.
How to have a conversation with even the hardest of hard asses. Talk about food.
Right. You'll break the mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like our taste buds are the strongest thing to connect with.
Yeah. kind of sucks because your nose and smell is strongly associated with taste, and for the longest time I physically couldn't smell at all because of breaking my skull when I was younger.
Ooh, so it affected that area?
Yeah, made it to where tasting was a lot harder.
Wow. I have to say, I mean, how'd she even break your skull? But glad that was the only thing that happened. You know?
Would you like me to tell you the story? It's actually kind of funny.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, since the screen isn't black, people might watch this later and get to hear about this. Alright, so basically, back when I was in 7th grade... Was it 7th? No, it had to have been... No, it's 8th grade, actually. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second. I had a pretty normal schedule, and one day I was in PE class at school, and PE that day was a free day, which meant and we went outside. It was really sunny and nice outside. They bought this huge bag of like balls and other kinds of you know, basic sports and play equipment, and basically just threw it on the ground and said, "Hey, until class is over, here, as long as you're doing something, you can do whatever. Just keep moving and you're good." So of course, me not being like the biggest person on physical exercise and stuff, I was just like, I'm just gonna walk the track. So me and my friend ended up just talking about games we had recently been playing, walking around the track. And then in the middle of the football field, we see a bunch of kids just sitting in a circle. And we look closer, and they're playing Duck, Duck, Goose. And
Okay.
I didn't play that until, like, except when I was, like, what, 2nd grade? Maybe even younger? So, of course, we just run right in there. Hey, that looked like such a good time. And we were having a lot of fun. We were playing else because a lot of us were just, you know, sitting down. That's how you play the game.
Yep.
But we didn't want to break up the group because we had this huge group of people, which is kind of rare, especially during a free day, because everybody kind of keeps to themselves during that day. So what we ended up deciding to do is, well, tag, specifically Infection. Now, have you ever played Infection?
Infection, no.
Okay. So Infection is a variation of tag in which it's kind of like how zombies work. One person starts off as the infective, and when they tag somebody, that person also becomes a tagger.
Alright, until one remains.
Yeah,
right?
Basically.
Okay.
So the person who ends up getting chose, as we played, like, I'm pretty sure, like, Knotted or something, he was just so incredibly slow. He couldn't get a single person whatsoever. So I walk up to him and I slap his hand and say, let me have a shot. I'm able to get literally everybody out until there was only one person left. Now this person was literally exactly as fast as me. He was not faster, he was not slower, so I was just chasing at him as fast as I physically could, running as fast as I could. And back then, I used to wear skater shoes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that was like my only type of shoe from like ever since I was like 6 all the way into like late high school. So this dude wearing some track boots takes a hard left, and I'm sprinting as fast as physically possible, and I don't expect him to do this. Only for me to, my surprise, see the friend that I was talking with at the track today, sprinting as fast as he physically possibly can in the exact opposite direction, and I don't even notice him until the guy's out of the way. So we crash into each other, and apparently I hit the single weakest part of the human skull to the single hardest part of this human skull on his skull. We both slam into each other at high speed. I fall over, slam into the concrete brick that was on the side of the track while he falls into the grass. We both just kind of sit there for a second.
You weren't like bleeding or whatever?
Let's get her out of here.
No open wounds, just cracked skull?
Surprisingly, no, we were not bleeding, but yeah, we just kind of sat there for a second. He started crying because pain is painful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I just start laughing my fucking ass off because I get an insane amount of enjoyment and out of extreme stuff like that. Anyways, I end up getting up and saying, alright, let's keep going. Only for one of the kids to walk up to me and say, hey, you feeling okay? Little did I know my entire face was covered in blood because of my nose.
Oh, God. Hey, you didn't even must have been in shock.
Probably.
Right.
Hey, so I put my hand on my face, pick my hand off, and see my hand is now completely red, and then I realized the entire world is rapidly shaking left to right, and nothing is stable, and I physically can't walk anywhere without falling. To which point I then realized, oh, I think I might be injured.
Jeez.
So they have me walk up this huge flight of stairs to get to the nurse's office with the other dude. I lay down, and my brain is just, like, completely shook. It doesn't know right from left or what the fuck. I was literally, like, extremely hot and extremely cold at the exact same time. I just went into the bathroom, took all my clothes off, and just, like, laid there, hoping that it would be cold floor would be enough. But no, my body was still having, like, extreme temperature tantrums because I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
Eventually, the doctors get there, I get pulled to the hospital. Oh, they put an IV in me, and just so you know, one thing about me, I hate, with a burning passion, IVs. Like, IVs are my big no-no.
Yeah, nobody likes needles.
Like, I don't mind needles. I don't mind needles at all, actually.
Really? You don't like IVs?
Nope, I just don't like IVs, and here's the reason why. Hi, a needle goes into your flesh, they put the stuff in, they take it out. It's a quick 1-2 easy process. All you feel is a pinprick. Heck, nothing that bad about that. Now, an IV, they stick that into one of your veins to constantly pump liquid in it, and that stays there basically until you leave the hospital. And you just can't move. You feel the needle in you constantly. It's a massive annoyance, and you just know you have this sharp-bladed object inside of you, and at no point does that feel good to know whatsoever.
Okay. I mean, I never had an IV in me, so...
So, I can take a needle, it's just IV is my big no-no. It's just like, I hated that so much. But they had to put it in me because I couldn't get fluid in me or any other way. I would barf up anything that was happening because I kept throwing up. So I just had to sit there. Mom calls me on voice thing, or like one of those, things where you can see their face, and I'm just like, I'm going to be okay. Hey, long story short, come home, go to sleep. Hey, wake up, physically can't move. Turns out I got a gigantic black eye and now need an eye patch. It took me like 3 days, maybe 2 days before I ended up going back to school. The kid I ended up slamming into was out for 2 weeks straight. Why? Because he had a minor headache. Apparently that's a thing.
It's a minor headache with him? Wow.
Yeah, like I said, I hit the strongest part of his skull. So I just thought it was funny that I got back way earlier than him. But yeah, eventually we ended up going back to the doctor. And it turned out my skull was just fractured straight open. It got broke.
Jeez.
And there were many effects because of that, but the main effect was that I just had lost my ability to smell, like, almost completely.
Wow. What were the minor effects?
Headaches randomly, the world would turn blurry inside out at random times, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So nothing like torrid, nothing like very serious.
No, I kept most of my other senses and everything else. The only like permanent damage that didn't go away within a couple of weeks was the smelling thing that took over a year to start recovering, and to this day there are certain things that I have a very hard time smelling. But I just like for a very long time lost my ability to smell jack shit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, you have to say this. It was a lost smell.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were like paralyzed or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It could have been a lot worse.
It could have been
in
a lot
all
worse.
honesty, of all the senses for you to live, it was like
You would rather
smelling
take
and
smell.
tasting are like the ones that are the most expendable.
Yeah. I mean, you really don't need those to function.
Yeah.
But I actually did have an IV stuck in me, but not like recently. It was just like when I was an infant and I was born premature, so they were sticking needles in me left and right. And then looking at those baby pictures of mine, you can see like the IVs in me. So it's like, no wonder I have like an intense fear of needles. I mean, like more so than anyone else. It's like, I never had like an IV stuck in me recently, but when you actually see it, it's like, can you kind of pull it out, please? Please,
Yeah,
like,
no.
don't pull this in me.
I
Even though
remember
it's
back
like
inside the hospital,
process.
literally all I said is like, all I want is this needle taken out of me and the ability to go to sleep. I want this day to be over.
So I must have subconsciously like knew like I had needles inside of me for the longest time. I just like
Yeah.
really don't really remember it, but subconsciously yes.
But yeah, I did actually get to learn about something. Damage to the skull and like brain is actually like the least painful injury you can physically get. And that's just because the nerves there just are never really activated. If you take a huge amount of damage to your brain, it's probably one of the worst things that can happen to you, but you won't like feel it until much later, just because your brain will not like register it, because you have to remember your brain tells the nerves what to do, and if the nerves are freaking the fuck out, the brain from your ass off like you just got tickled to death.
Uh-huh. Especially for brain bleeds.
Yeah.
Had those as a premature baby, so it only affected my math side, thank God. But because of the brain bleed as a premature, because I was born 1 pound 9 ounces.
Wow, that is like really small.
1988. Yep, 1988. 1 pound 9 ounces. Medical technology was not great then, like it is today. So, yep, brain bleed, but thankfully, thank God, it only affected the math area. So I do have trouble with math a lot. I can get by with some things, but like the most easiest people can like be whipping out like answers. I'm like still counting on my fingers. Like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, I needed my calculator.
And you still play
with running,
RPGs, that's hilarious.
Yeah, right. Because there's like tons of numbers and tons of calculations you have to do, but with like you know those kind of calculations I'm fine with. But when it comes to like math, like really high numbers of math, it's like I have to use my fingers or I have to get a calculator. If I don't have those, I'm screwed.
I remember I basically never did math the correct way. I would always just kind of guess the answer and then like put it in a calculator to see if it would match up. For example, in algebra class, to see if it actually equaled x. And I would keep doing that over and over and over until I got the right answer. I never did the equation correctly. I was just like, this plus this equals x. Is this the answer? No, that doesn't look right. No, is this the answer? Surprisingly effective.
I mean, I'm actually just amazed I can actually count money.
Did you know I'm the only person in my entire family that actually graduate high school?
No, that's
Yeah, of all of my
surprising.
mother's children's, nobody graduated high school.
Huh.
My sister, who was actually very accomplished, ended up moving on to a job and work and stuff like that much later, and just kind of quit high school early. My brother flunked out and became a super senior, and eventually he just moved on. My eldest brother literally just didn't even fucking try.
Sounds like my brother.
So the only person who like had a good reason for getting out was my sister here, because she already was more than smart enough at that point. She just had to, you know, get work done at inside of the situation she was in, and she had no choice but to make money. Yeah.
I mean, for my family, I think it was my brother who just didn't complete high school. He was a dropout.
Yeah, I can't believe I actually pulled it off, because I barely managed to complete high school, to be honest. Yeah,
Really?
like, yeah.
I thought high school was pretty easy.
I had an F in 2 classes until the very last day before graduation.
Uh-huh.
And you know the reason why I successfully succeeded?
Why?
It turns out like I had like 20 assignments in my backpack, either half done or fully complete.
That's it?
I did the work, I just forgot to turn it in, and apparently that stuff is actually worth points.
Oh my god!
So my teacher empties out my backpack, finds a bunch of like soda cans and stuff and missed papers, realizes the papers are completely done assignments from like months ago, grades them, and finds out I literally had like a few 100 points missing.
Oh my god, why didn't you turn those in? I mean, you completed them. Like, how come you just didn't turn them in the next day you had class?
I completely forgot they existed, and as for the ones that were half done, I was like, I'll finish them off later. Procrastination, it screws you over, trust me.
But I guess I don't have enough procrastination.
So it wasn't even a thing that I forgot how to do the work or just didn't do the work. It was just I forgot to turn the damn stuff in.
But you know that this is due like within like 2 or like the next day. You do the work and then you're like, oh, I had to turn it in. No, I forgot. It literally gives you a few days to complete it, or like a day to complete it.
But yeah, that's my funny story about that. So I managed to finish high school, but the way it happened.
But the way it happened was because of procrastination. But yeah, you didn't have enough procrastination to not do the work. You did the work, you just didn't turn it in.
Exactly.
I mean, usually procrastination works backwards. You don't do the work. You kind of shove it aside and say, I'm gonna do it like whenever.
No, I just shoved turning it in aside. I just was like, I'll turn it in after class when everybody else is done. I don't want to go upstairs.
Oh my god. It literally, when the teacher says, hand in your work, you hand in your work.
Yeah, well, if I ever go to college, I need to remember that, because I'm just like a big derp. Big derp.
Me, I was like an A+ student. It's like, it's A, maybe B's, no C's.
Here's my thing.
It's
either
A's
I was an A or I was an F.
Else.
It was never anything else. And that's how I ended up having 10 credits to make up on my final year.
Except for math class, because I suck at that. Math class was the worst. Any other classes I'm fine with. Math class is just a nightmare.
But no, seriously, I he had 10 credits to make up because of how lazy I was on my final year. But I did manage to do literally 20 classes worth of work, but you know.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't want to turn it in.
Literally, my thing was I just didn't do work inside of my younger years, so I ended up having to make everything up on my final year. And then the final year was actually the year I was doing the work. It's just I completely forgot to turn it in, so I passed through school, but just barely because I'm a dumbass.
How can you flipping not turn it in?
The easiest part of the work is the part I screw up on.
Oh. So you can do the hard stuff, no problem. But it's when it comes to turning it in, no.
Well, that's why I was able to even get it done in the first place, because whenever they would do a test, that was the stuff I excelled at. They never understood why I was failing, but whenever a test would come out, nope, those are fine. I would always like either get a B or an A on those ones.
So the RC tests were easy for you?
Yeah. It turns
Yeah.
out I actually didn't even have to do my math credits, so I ended up getting those for free. Just because I basically completed everything I needed to know when it came to math on those, like, statewide tests. So, simply because of that, it was actually kind of nice.
Yeah. The state tests weren't, like, that bad. I mean, the RC tests were kind of easier, but the state ones, they varied in some ways, but, you know, it's still easy, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I either got an A or I got nothing.
Right. It's either A's or B's or nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I even crammed, like, for days. If not, like, during, like, in the late hours of the night.
Did you ever, like, just straight up procrastinate so much that you were, like, having to do an entire assignment in one night, so you just pull an all-nighter and finish it off there? Because I have, and I'm not gonna lie,
Yes.
I wanted to die that day. I'm just going through the entire school day, like, let me end my suffering. And you want to know the worst part about it all?
Only one time. Only one time, I have to say. Only one
You want to
time.
know the worst part about it all?
What?
I got a C on that assignment.
Aww. After all that cramming throughout the night, see?
Yeah.
Sucks.
Mm-hmm. Alright.
But God, like the math RCTs, and then you have the math for the state. It's like, I just dreaded those. It's like, no, oh no, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at math. But when it
Math
comes
is
to
never my
literature
strong
class
suit,
and
but I
everything,
never had
I'm
that
fine.
big of a problem with
I'm
it.
fine.
Like I said, I got through math in a very stupid way. It took a long time for me to get any questions done because of what I did, but I would still get the right answer in the end, so yeah, it worked for me.
I'm just so glad I'm done with those RCT tests.
Yeah.
All the math class, I'm so done with it. I'm so glad I'm done with it.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, hitting the block button takes so long in this game. Even if you spam the block button, sometimes it just doesn't come out.
No, it doesn't. I've actually noticed that myself. And also, you know how you said, like, but yet you play RPGs?
Yeah.
I can somewhat, you know, like, kind of calculate numbers, like, okay, I just need to bring this enemy down, like, this many points, or I
Yeah, when you consider, especially when you're doing, like, challenge runs or, like, super hard difficulties, you have to figure out how much damage you're doing, exactly how much HP your opponent has, and how, like, defensive you want to play because of that, because if your opponent still has a lot of HP, you kind of want to whittle them down very slowly, but if they're on the last phase, you kind of want to just put everything into it. Oh, thank God, I finally got my counter. That's gonna be nice.
Oh, good. And then I'm, like, calculating, like, okay, this attack, like, takes off this much, this attack takes off this much. I'm easily calculating the numbers. I don't know how I'm doing that, because I am, like, really bad at math. Maybe it's because I'm having fun with it, and that's what's making it easier for me, so I'm disregarding the math and numbers section and just having fun with it. So it's making it way more easier for me to do math in that section, versus, like, counting money up to a higher percentage, or, like doing mathematics, you know, like a very higher. I'm not gonna say number range, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, just so you know, I'm going to be doing almost all my flick rushes using Riku, for the sole fact that the Keyblade you actually get hit for flick rush has an incredibly high strength stat. That was actually a mistake I made on my last playthrough. I did all my flick rush for Sora, so the character I was playing the magic build with got the melee Keyblade.
I really have to force myself to play Flick Rush if I like really want to get those trophies.
It's fun. You just got to put yourself into it. It's kind of like how once you get used to Blitzball, it gets fun. It's just painful in the beginning.
Once you get used to Blitzball, no, it's not happening. No, that's not happening. No.
This is why you're never going to do. Hey, wait, level 1, hun. You do not do a level 1 without Blitzball.
Yeah, I guess
it's physically impossible. Oh, like seriously. Hey, you have to have Waka's second overdrive. You don't have to do a fuck ton of Blitzball. You just need to get that next overdrive, and to do that, you have to win a couple tournaments in Blitzball.
Well, I guess I'm not getting that then.
Yeah, no. Just don't do a level 1 run. You never have to go through that pain and suffering.
No, don't worry. I don't think I'm doing that. If I have to play Blitzball for a level 1 run, no thank you. No freaking
Yeah, you literally have to just because it's like necessary because you physically can't do it without Waka's second overdrive.
Even though you showed me that it is possible to do a level 1 run on that game. And even though it does look fun,
I'm just trying to give you inspiration to beat the game by itself. I'm not trying to give you inspiration to do a level 1 run. Nope. Don't put yourself through that.
Hey, it did give me inspiration. You gave me inspiration. It is possible. You can do this. You can do the impossible. But
like you were saying that you were like stuck on the game on Sin, and I'm just like, all right, you're stuck on the game on Sin. I beat Sin as a level 1. You can kill Sin. But no, the reason why it's basically impossible is, here's the thing. Yojimbo can kill any enemy in the game with 1 hit with Sanmato, right?
Uh-huh.
That is, except for the Sin fight, like the one where you have to try and kill him in like a time limit. That one specific fight is the only fight where Yojimbo cannot physically use Zamato.
Okay. And
because of that, if you're doing a level 1 run, the only way to physically do enough damage to kill Sin is, well, by doing enough damage by your level 1. So you obviously can't do that by yourself, so then you're going to go to your summons. But your Jibbo can't insta-kill it. So next thought you're going to have is just to spam the shit out of a very strong summon like Anima. And I tried that. You don't even get close at all. And so because of that limitation, and what you're going to end up having to do is using Riku's ability called Triple Triad Stars. And what that ability does is it makes it to where every single one of your attacks will do 9,999 damage. However, even so, you still have to be close enough to Sin to kill him. So by the time the ship comes close enough to Sin, they'll just spam the attack button, right? And then you win, right? Yeah. He has so much HP that the only character or characters that can physically do enough damage to kill him are Tidus with his overdrive, and that won't bring him close enough by himself. You need another huge one. And then Waka with his second overdrive, because he hits a grand total of 20 times with his second overdrive. This means that, as far as I know, the only physically possible way to successfully kill Sin inside of a level 1 run is by having Waka's second overdrive.
Which you can only get it
by doing Blitzball.
Oh, no. Never again. Never flipping again.
How many attempts did you have to take to do that?
I don't want to talk about it. It was like over 20 times. Over 20 times. I'm not kidding you. It was over 20 times.
I believe you.
Because
I told you about the little cheese strat.
I know, and I tried that, but sometimes it just didn't work for me. Every time I tried to get behind the goalie, they were like either like cutting me off like early on, or just they're basically grabbing my ankle and pulling me back in. Like, oh no, you're not getting when I'm swimming away, it's like they're grabbing my ankle and they're pulling me back in. Like, no way, you're not going over there. And then when I from like behind the goalie, or the NPC just kind of sits there looking at me, knowing what I'm doing. You know, knowing what I'm doing, like, and then they're somehow they can still go up to me and initiate a battle. And it's like, no, I was behind the goalie. You shouldn't have been coming up to me.
Yeah, you have to make sure there are no enemies on you when you initiate that, or else they're still able to attack.
Yeah. So that didn't really work as well as I thought. And then Waka, you know, the guy with the venom shot, which, you know, should not miss at all. Or, you know, with Tidus, with his jet shot, which should not miss at all. It missed.
Okay, well, venom shot you do have to be very close to successfully pull off. That one's harder. But jet shot, I do not know how the hell you missed that. You just had horrible luck there.
Nope, missed those. I missed those. And then by just a streak of luck, I actually just did get some goals. One with the venom shot, and one with the jet shot. And then the rest of the game, I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to hide behind the goalie until the time runs out. And then they did it, and then it was done. I put my switch down, and I lay down. I was like, I did it.
At least you felt accomplished.
I don't have to do it anymore. What?
At least you felt accomplished.
Yes, I felt accomplished. I just put my switch down. I screamed, I did it! I don't have to play this game ever again. And then I just kind of laid down for a few minutes.
Is that why that you were just, like, in so much pain watching me play Blitzball and, like, winning every match?
Yes! Why do you think I was in pain?
I was just like, this is easy, Anna! Everyone dies!
Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, if you know how to tech copy, it gets a lot easier, because tech copying was a godsend. Trust me there. When I finally learned about that, that made life so much easier. Like, Keeper by himself isn't the greatest, well, Keeper, but the second you get Super Goalie on him, oh, life just becomes so much better.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't know, man. I just had horrible luck with the jet shot. I'm like, you were close to the goalie, Tidus, you stupid F. F-bombs are dropping.
Yeah, usually if you do a jet shot, as long as you're close to the goalie, you just win.
Yeah, I was close to the goal, and he missed. They caught the ball, and I'm like, bull effing shit. You cost us. You piece of garbage. I hate you.
Somebody's passive aggressive.
Yeah. Blitzball, just like Kingdom Hearts, at least like during that that speedster trophy that you're trying to get, do not do that when you're playing critical. Don't do that. That's dumb. If you're going for the speedster trophy, please do it on like normal or easy mode. Do not do it on critical mode, because
which game had speedster on it?
Hours. What?
Which game had speedster on it? Was that the original?
Yeah, KH1.
That's, I want to say fun, but not really.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, KH1 didn't even have critical. It only had proud.
Well, it had expert mode, so that's basically critical in itself, you have to say. Expert mode was basically critical, so don't do that. If you're going for that trophy, don't do it on critical expert mode. Please don't do that, because you will pretty much scream your brains out, and then you're just gonna be so frustrated and have so much stress afterwards. Because you have to like, the entire thing is, you have to beat the game within 15 hours. I had like a full hour to spare on it. So, I'm like, okay, I beat the game, waiting for the trophy to drop. It was like several long seconds that felt like several minutes. I was like, come on, do not tell me I did not get this for all the pain and suffering that I just went through.
You see, this is why you make...
Like, yeah.
This is why you make multiple save files.
I did. That's why it had 99 save files. And I'm like... I mean, in the original it had 99 save files, but, you know...
Yeah.
Now I understand why it has 99 save files. Because it's like, oh, okay.
If one thing takes too long, everything goes wrong.
Huh. I mean, I had like 8 files going just to save like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I have never looked at a game timer so much in my life.
Beyond.
She's an ISO. ISO?
A whole new life form.
You know, I once thought about speedrunning Final Fantasy X. But then I remembered cutscenes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They manifested like a flame. They weren't really from anywhere. The conditions were right when they came into being.
I don't remember what the world record speedrun for 10 is. I'm pretty sure it's like 12 or 11 hours, and it's 10 hours of cutscenes.
Wow.
They were spectacular. Everything I'd hoped to find in the system. Control, order, perfection.
Watching that was essentially just like watching Final Fantasy the movie.
Yeah.
That'd be my gift to the world.
I wonder how fast a person can speedrun 12 Zodiac Age.
It's gonna take a while for a system to reboot.
Well, that would be easier, because you have to remember the thing about how Final Fantasy games is, the question is it, like, young enough for you to skip the cutscenes?
Create the perfect system, but endless potential can never, ever be fully realized.
That's why KH games can be ran so fast.
Perfection.
Yeah.
We destroyed them. He screwed up. No. He's me. I screwed it up. Chasing after perfection. Chasing after what was right in front of me. Right in front of me.
You're too hard for one thing, and you miss everything else.
Idiotic father. I'm sorry.
I love how Riku can basically sum up this entire movie in one single phrase. Look too hard for one thing, you miss everything else.
Answers created
Yep.
Ansem.
Pretty much.
We all have a little of that curiosity in us. So if we're not careful, any one of us could create an Ansem.
Great. They found us.
We've been put on a new course.
Personally, I just love Riku as a character.
I did like him when he grew.
Yeah, because
And he
he
wasn't
has
half
genuine development.
Yeah. There was character.
He starts off just wanting to explore the world outside of his tiny little island, but he becomes arrogant to the fact of what he's been doing, and then ends up becoming a big jerk because of it. Eventually, he gets possessed because of that, but the second he gets free, he realizes that, unlike most characters, wait a second, I fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't do that again. And his entire arc through the entirety of Chain of Memory is where he learns that even though he's used the darkness in the past, that doesn't make him a bad person. Everybody has some of that inside of him. If anything, that could just make you stronger. And that's what Riku did. He became stronger because of his past.
Uh-huh.
That's why he didn't
learned
just
from his
completely
past.
reject the darkness. Yes, he doesn't only use light attacks. In every variation, he uses things like Dark Fire Raga and stuff. That's because he understands that it's not a thing of using it as the problem. It's a thing of not letting yourself be consumed by it.
Outside world. Come on, Sam.
Right.
And then we have Sora over here, who is just
Get me on the flight deck.
Sora
Get us some wheels.
every single game. He doesn't change very much.
No.
Improvise.
If you look at Sora from KH3, and then you look at Sora from like the original Kingdom Hearts, the biggest difference is their
He
voice and
didn't change.
outfit. That's it.
Yeah, he didn't change much.
He's still a little bit of a doofus. He's still happy, and he'll exclusively relies on his friends.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't make him a horrible character. It makes him very hard to relate to. Also, I just got hit like inside of one single combo, and I'm already almost dead. So, you know, pain, suffering, and more pain.
I see that. You basically just ran straight into that one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Sora's like all light. I mean, he almost got possessed, but he didn't. he's such a carefree guy, and he's just such a loving character that like, nothing bad happens to him.
Even when something bad did happen to him, he got bailed out of it. And it's not like he...
So, like, basically nothing happens to him. Like, nothing bad happens to him.
At all. Holly was just like... He was just still Sora.
So
like Riku says, at the end of it all, just sleeping happily.
Yep.
Everything's going wrong, and Sora's over here just with a smile on his face and his eyes nice and closed.
Yep, just sleeping away. Just having his memories restored.
Yep. So, yeah. I think the most amount of character development Sora ever had was in Chain of Memories, but here's the problem about that. By the end of Chain of Memories, he forgot everything!
Yep, because now I'm gonna give him the choice. Do you want to remember this? Or you know how you're gonna forget all about this and have your memories restored. What do you want? And he's like, take away my memories, restore me.
Yeah, so even in the one single time that things were important and he actually had a character arc, he got reverted back to old Sora, which once again kind of made it very hard for him to relate to.
Yep.
Even Terra, the guy who fucked up completely, he understood what he did wrong.
Yeah, and
he understood that as early as the Ericus fight. It wasn't like he had to be completely possessed for him to get it. He was just like, oh wait a second, I've been manipulated.
Yeah, oh wait
He wasn't even trying to be the bad guy. Yeah. He wasn't trying to use the darkness, he wasn't trying to be arrogant. And unlike Riku, who had to learn, he just got fucked! And people still hate him because he got the bad end of the stick!
Yep. Yep.
That's why I'm just like, everybody loves Aqua, and I'm just like a Terra fanboy because it's just like, he's my innocent boy who did nothing wrong! He's my munchkin, fuck off, nothing happened.
But then again, he did kind of state after... I believe it was Xehanort who actually landed the final blow to Master Ericus. He was like, Master Ericus, why? If I saw somebody stab someone, or do whatever, to like my master, like just instill darkness in him and kill him, I wouldn't be saying why. I would be saying, oh my god, you effing bastard, I'm going to kill you.
No, it was Terra who killed him.
Oh, it was Terra, okay. Because I thought it was like
I thought about it, but remember... Terra lands the final blow, and then Ericus falls into his arms when he dies.
Yes, and disappears, yeah, and then his heart goes inside of him, yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. Hey, Xehanort doesn't appear until right after he dies. He doesn't, like, do the final blow, and then Terra screams at him. He's in fact, at that point, Terra's just confused. He doesn't understand that it was because of the dark powers that Ericus actually just straight up died. But even in that fight, it wasn't like he was even trying to kill him to begin with. He was just trying to protect his friend.
Right, he was just trying to protect Fed because Master Ericus was just trying to like
chain
him up and seal him and possibly kill him.
Exactly.
Eventually. However, Master Ericus did not want to do that to Ven. He was just like, you know what, I don't want darkness to be seeping out of Ventus and having
He was trying to delay the inevitable. Well, it was the exact same scenario as the Union Cross people, the Unions.
Right.
They tried to delay the inevitable, they tried to stop what was bound to happen, and you know what happens? They created it.
Right. But then again, I wouldn't say the Foretellers created that mess. I would say the Master of Masters created that mess.
I mean, in the end, it was them trying to stop the inevitable that ended up creating it.
Yeah, but I have to say it wasn't the Foretellers' fault. It was actually the Master of Masters that did it, because if the Master of Masters never gave the Foretellers their jobs, this whole entire mess would possibly never happen. Because when he was like, oh, okay, you have to, Alva, you have to make sure, you have to gather up all Keyblade wielders and make sure the war doesn't happen. And then he goes to Envy, I believe her name is, and her job is to, like monitor everybody to make sure, like, there's no traitor among them. He goes to,
Oh no, Envy, he wasn't the, traitor scout. That was, starts with a G, the tiger.
Oh yeah, the bear.
No, the bear was to be the right-hand man of the unicorn. horn.
Oh, right,
The tiger was given a piece of the book that the other ones didn't have
the
to
piece of
track
the book
down
of
the
the
traitor. So he was specifically for that hat. He was the messenger. Her. Well, specifically, she was supposed to be the observer, but she became the messenger, so he had fucked up her job. Which is funny, because everybody didn't do their job correctly, and yet only one considered the traitor. And even though it was like, whoever is not doing their job correctly is the traitor, and every single one of them wasn't doing it correctly.
Yeah, but you have to say, why did he give him the jobs? How come he couldn't just outright say, hey, there's darkness among us. I have to disappear for a minute because of this reason. There's a traitor among you. But because he said there's a traitor among you, everybody is like turning to each other and saying, you're the traitor, you're the traitor, you're the traitor. Which completely leads to, like, you know...
Well, you have to remember, the book does not say who the traitor is. It says there is a traitor. So it's not like he could have just, you know, told them about that. The book itself was written in such a way that no matter what they would have done, they would have been screwed. And in the end, that's really the sad part about how it is. The book is it tells of the future. He literally just sets up the stuff that's supposed to go on, and then everybody of the foretellers tries to stop it, and because they tried to stop it, it ends up creating the very thing they didn't want.
And, which is kind of funny, the Master of Masters said, we don't want any paradoxes to happen. Guess what happens?
Yeah.
Crap. You created the very thing that I was trying to avoid. So if the Master of Masters sees the future, how come he's not saying, oh, I know what's going to happen, let's not do this. So this doesn't happen, so the paradoxes don't happen.
Maybe whatever in the box is literally, like, needed all that stuff to happen to even work. Because remember, it all really goes back to that. What was so important that he couldn't have the future be ruined. Oh my god, I can buy Strike Raid.
Awesome.
100 Strike Raids of death!
Yes. Just try to get an elemental one. Just try.
Well, first things first, I actually do have to get an upgrade, which is going to cost a bit. And that's switching my potions out for high potions.
Okay, because I think you could buy the elementals, like at one stage or whatever.
Yeah, eventually.
Can the black screen of death go away? Thank you. Please.
Did it... Why did it happen again?
I don't know. It's been on this for like several minutes now. It came back, and then it completely, and then it just changed. I think it like entered a cutscene. I was like, nope, you're not seeing this.
Out of all of the Kingdom Hearts games, this is the one that just had the most heart attacks.
Right. It just does not like Dream Drop. It does not like this 3DS
It really
one.
does not like Dream Drop, and I don't understand that.
No, it just doesn't like this 3DS port at all. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, yeah, the Master is trying to make sure the world doesn't fall into darkness. Too late for that. Too late for that. But it's like, he's trying to save it.
Well, I think the Master knew that the world was going to fall into darkness. I think he just wanted the future to be the best it possibly could afterwards. It's like at the very beginning of the back cover. It specifically is just like, well, the world's screwed. There's no point in trying to stop that. What's most important is that we build something that can bring the light back. And I think that's why they made the Union in the first place. Not to try and stop the war, but to try and make sure that there was something or people there that they could bring in afterwards.
Right.
Well, think about what happened to everybody in the war to begin with. So wouldn't that make sense what their ending would be?
Yeah, I mean, Ava did make the dandelions because she knew, like, you know, the war's already starting. So if you guys are dandelions, you have to fly off somewhere else to, like, repopulate the world somewhere else. So she was like, fly away my dandelions.
Yeah.
And then we have the fairy tale that goes, the world was...
I love that flow motion is so broken that even in the only cutscene flow motion is used, it just instantly one-shots the Rinsler. Like a boss for Sora, we could just be like, goodbye!
Right.
That's just so funny to me.
But although it's like, you know, the war's starting, fly away my dandelions so you can repopulate the earth and the world when it goes all haywire. But,
Yeah.
and then, you know, the whole fairy tale with you get the all people bathed in the warmth of the light, then darkness took over the hearts and darkness destroyed everything.
So you
but the
played
heart
Union
remained,
Cross.
the light remained in the hearts of children.
Did you like
and
choose
they
a union or
repopulated
something?
everything. What?
So you personally have played Union Cross. Inside that game, do you actually like choose a union or anything?
Yes, I was part of Ava's union.
Oh, cool.
Yep, I chose Ava. Because it's like, you look nice. I don't know who you are, but you look really nice. And when I learned more about her, I was like, I knew I picked you for a reason. I knew you looked really nice. So. But I love Ava. I don't know what freaking happened to her. I mean, I quit that game. Because, did I tell you I quit it?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Because when I was trying to get you onto Final Fantasy, you were telling me, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is sad because so much good has happened in Final Fantasy. Like, I've been having... to this day, I'm still having a fun time with that, and that's saying something. Hey, I don't play actual games nearly as long as I've played that mobile game. I mean, the entire reason I did the level 1 playthrough was because of the mobile game. Like, did I ever tell people the real reason I did that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so basically, the reason that I had done the entirety of that level 1 playthrough is because I jokingly made a promise to my friend, like, we're trying to get Tidus's ultimate weapon. I only had a couple draw tickets, which were like a single draw, and a chance of you getting an ultimate weapon is 0.0003%.
Wow.
So, you're never, like, almost never going to get an ultimate weapon off of a single draw with nothing else. So, I jokingly say to my friend, like, you know what, if I get Tidus's ultimate weapon on my very first draw, then I'll do an entire level run of Final Fantasy X, as the universe has obviously said this must be done. And some fucking how, the literal impossible happens, and I get a goddamn ultimate weapon for Tidus on the very first draw.
So the universe is like, okay, pay up. You gotta do this.
And the funny thing was, I wouldn't stop getting his ultimate weapons until after I was done with that playthrough. Like, the universe itself was basically like, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
So, because of my promise that I admit, hey, to be funny, that happened.
Yeah, the universe was like, alright, we gave you this, now you gotta pay up.
I don't know, the universe just likes that kind of painful irony, I guess.
Truly it does.
So that's the reason why. All because of that mobile game that I love so much.
That's neat, though.
But no, seriously, when they release Riku inside of that game, if I get her EX weapon, I am straight up just doing a Riku-only playthrough. Hey, that sounds like so much fun to me. Though it would be hard for me to figure out the rules to that, to be honest. Because you are forced to have 3 party members at all times, and even if you have them die, inside the very next fight, they will revive with 1 HP.
So, I mean, if they still revive, I mean, maybe... Is there a way to not attack certain party members?
Yeah, but if I do that, then they're guarding, and then they're still technically helping out.
So it's possibly physically impossible to do a Riku-only run.
So, basically what my idea is that I can use the characters, obviously, until I get Riku, or else the game physically wouldn't work. And then after that, the only actions that I can do are ones that do not have them get EXP. And for that, the only 2 things that you can do without a character getting EXP at the end of the fight is to have them tack one another, or to hit the escape command. So I think that's what's going to be the rule. So long as they do not get any EXP from the actions I take after Riku is attained, then I'm allowed to do whatever.
Okay. That might
And
work.
that will make sure that they don't get EXP during boss fights, because they will attack each other until they're dead. And that will make sure that everything else is good. So basically, the playthrough should be done correctly if at the end of every fight, no character except for Riku gets EXP.
Okay.
I think that sounds fair in my eyes.
That does sound fair.
I hear that Orin is the most popular character to do like only playthroughs thanks to his insane attack and HP, but I kind of want the character with the single least HP and single most or single least HP in attack. Let's see how well that goes. So has the screen went back to normal yet?
Nope.
Still? Yeesh.
Nope. I'm still waiting for it. Hey, you've done the impossible before, so do the impossible in that. It's Cydia.
Yeah. Fucking 2v1ing in the city. That was insane. I mean, it helped that I only had to worry about you HP attacking, so it was basically just like, stay out of the line of fire of the crazy lady and just deal with Joey. I mean, when you break it down, that's essentially all it was. Though in order for me to, like, do any attacks, actually, hey, I was basically forced to, crap. But yeah, in order to actually do any type of attacks or anything, I was basically forced to have to use, like, something that was invincible, like Cloud's ability. Alright, so we already talked about what's the best burger you ever had. What's another type of food that's like really commonly eaten? Well, let me just ask it. Hiss, what's your favorite type of food?
My favorite type of food?
Yeah, you know, like Thai food, Italian food, maybe just even like one single typing of food, like fish or something.
I guess I like pasta.
Pasta!
Amazingly, I am not. Oh my god, it came back. Amazingly, I am not Italian, but I do love pasta.
It's funny, my mother was Italian, and she absolutely hated spaghetti and pasta.
Really? Huh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I heard Italian people like love pasta. It's like their go-to meal, and they're like really.
Well, apparently when she was a child, that was like all that she got to eat.
Oh, and you died from that. Ooh.
Yeah, I take an upset about it. Image. Like, the thing is, for whatever reason, this game doesn't follow, like, the normal type of, game mechanic where, like, ranged attacks are lower damage than melee attacks because melee attacks are harder to land. No, in this game, ranged attacks do a absolute fuck ton. Like, the projectiles out of these beetle things, if I didn't have all the HP boost that I have right now, they would one-shot me, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it when I was playing as Sora. Sora literally would die to any single projectile that hit him. I was only allowed to get hit by melees. So
this solitary area, I know it to be a nightmare.
Yeah. And as you see, there are 3 cannons at the end of there, so I can't get too close or else I just straight up die.
Yeah, which makes it, like, even worse.
But luckily, I do have one single technique that works out pretty well. Yeet my Keyblade no Jutsu.
Yes! You're doing now.
Only problem is, because of the guns, my spirit keeps dying and I keep on having to run in to try and get to him.
Yeah, and he's like way close to those cannons too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, buddy, could you pass out and die somewhere else?
Yeah.
Instead of near the cannons?
I literally have to link with him just to like make sure he doesn't die. Because at least while we're linked together, you know,
he's technically still alive. He can still live.
He's with me, so it's safe.
Right.
There we go. Okay, I think I got him out of danger. Let's have one more high potion, and let's get over to there. So I'm just going to change the function of this thing.
To attack his friends. To attack their enemies and to attack his friends.
There we go.
Blech. Blech. This is what anxiety does to you. You can barely talk.
Yeah, I know that
barely
feeling.
Speak. Blech.
Let's wait for it. Price shop, there it is.
So back on the topic of food, have you ever had like a really good bowl of pasta with ground garlic in it? Like,
but here's the
like
thing
all
about
types of
garlic. I can't eat garlic.
You can't?
No. Garlic, onions, olives, and mushrooms are the foods that I don't eat. I can't. I love how these health orbs like heal almost nothing. There we go.
Do you not like the texture of it?
As far as onions go, they just taste absolutely horrible to me. Olives, the same thing.
Onions? How can you hate onions?
Mushrooms that's because of a very bad experience I had as a child. That sticks with me to this day, and whenever I try to eat it, I just can't think of anything but that. You ever eaten wild mushrooms when you were younger? Not fun.
No, because I've seen some growing in my backyard where I used to live, and I'm like, as much as I would like to try it, it's possibly poisonous, so I'm going
I was
to
a very little kid, and I thought that it was like Mario.
Oh.
Worst idea I ever had.
What happened?
About probably exactly what you're expecting.
Ooh. So you must have had some crazy hallucinations, possibly, and you got really, really sick.
Got really sick.
Really sick. Maybe some hallucinations because of the sickness. Because it was that poisoned.
Oh, that feels good. That right there. That button that I just pushed. That is an amazing button.
Awesome. Yes.
That's really good. This and that. Okay, let's get this.
So, like if you just
Still
ever
get
back, if you ever just try to force yourself to like,
I've eaten it before,
onions
and it just
garlic.
doesn't work.
No, because I would have to, because
I can like not eat onions in any context. If it's a very small amount of garlic, heck, I can usually survive it.
Okay.
But olives are just a big no-no.
Yeah, olives. I don't like olives. I tried them. I can't stand the taste. But like just garlic and onions, I love it. I love them so much. But put that in a bowl of pasta, and then put like ragu sauce. That's butter and Parmesan in it. It's so good. Because I just tried it the other day, like Parmesan butter ragu sauce, and I'm like, oh my god, this is heaven. It's so good.
This is mine. Had a feeling you'd be here.
When I was bringing up the fact of burgers earlier, it was because I went to the sushi restaurant like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and they had this one single burger that was like this Snake River smoked burger, and for like only a couple more dollars, you could get it called something called sumo styled, and I'm just like, that sounds filling. So I get myself some octopus because I fucking love octopus sushi. I just like octopus in general.
Gross.
And then I get myself the burger. And I am kid you not, this thing had a full fried egg on it, bacon, and some of the best meat and sauce you've ever had. It was the best burger I had eaten in my entire lifetime. One of the best foods I've ever eaten in my entire life. So that was just like something indescribable there. It's like 12?
So how large was it?
Oh, here's my head.
I'm picturing like a pretty big, large burger here.
It was like the size of my head. I had to squish that thing down to even take a bite.
Damn it! A black screen, come on! You just entered a boss battle.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
God, I really hate this game.
It really does. I don't know why. It's like, I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! I can play anything else. I can even play the other Kingdom Hearts. Alright, so no black screen. I do Final Fantasy, no black screen. Hey, and this would just be like, ha! You wanted to play. Hey, Dream Drop.
Guess what? We're dropping into a black screen.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's like Dream Drop. Okay, I guess that means I get to drop now.
Exactly. The entire stream just drops to oblivion.
Yeah, no kidding. I just used the drop me not to stream.
Don't you also have a drop me never?
Not yet. I should get it right after this world, to be honest.
Okay. So, did you hear about the new ESRB rating?
Oh, and I died. Damn it. New ESRB rating. That sounds concerning.
Yeah, it's for Kingdom Hearts for the Remind.
Hmm?
It had the new ESRB rating for the Remind DLC has fantasy violence, mild blood, mild language, and use of alcohol.
I'm sorry, I heard mild blood and I automatically think this might be the best game ever.
Yep, everybody's like making a big deal out of it, like they were gonna see like a lot of blood.
I know it's not gonna be anything big, but that is a big deal for a Disney property.
I know, mild blood. Okay,
it's starting to. I get there's Final Fantasy characters in this, but you know. Also, we already know that's what the alcohol is. Like, that's just obvious.
I mean, use of alcohol. Really, the only use of alcohol in there was in Kingdom Hearts 2 with Barbossa, and when he changed into his skeleton form, he like.
You're also forgetting about one other character.
What?
You're forgetting about Auron.
Oh, I don't think Auron actually drank in that.
No, he did. It's for one of his attacks, remember?
Oh yeah, he like drank it and then he did his...
And he shoots the tornado out. It's where his ultimate inside of 10 and it's inside of KH2.
Right, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Probably because I kind of stopped using his overdrive, unless I really needed it. Otherwise it was just pure Sora and just teammates.
Yeah. Most people just stick with Donald and Goofy and go through the entire thing with it. But for me, it was like a thing of, if I like you, you're staying with me. So for like Riku and like Jack and Auron, I think those were the only ones that I just like kept the guys because it was just like necessary.
And I'm usually like, get out of my party. Oh yeah, it came back. But I'm usually like, get out of my party. Or I'm like, I'm turning all of your like good attacks off. So you can still help out, but you're not going to be completely overpowered in this fight. You know?
My thing is, if you're playing critical mode, especially at a low level, well, you really don't gotta worry about overpowered things.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think
Because
it's
you have
like
to remember,
that
the
fun.
entire point of critical mode is to test what your knowledge of the game is. Can you beat the game using everything you know? And just getting rid of stuff you know is, in my opinion, and just showing that you can't use more stuff.
Damn it,
To me, it's
black
more
screen.
impressive if you can use everything. He went straight back into a black screen?
Yep, straight black screen.
That
But,
took 5 seconds.
Yep. But, yeah, I just kind of need to turn off all their good attacks. You know how, like, in KH3, which Hercules has that boulder toss? Nope, turn that shit off. Turning that off.
That was the only ranged attack he had, and it took forever.
Yeah, I'm not turning that off. He's only punching the enemies and, like, plowing through them. That's all he's doing. He's not doing the big stuff. And the same goes for my other party members. And all the Kingdom Hearts games. Your big attacks? No, I'm turning them off. Sorry. Nope. Oh, the only people that's having huge attacks here are Donald, Goofy, or Sora.
Why do they get to have the big attacks? Those things do the most damage of all of them, though.
I mean, you don't get a lot of flare force, duck flares. You don't
I mean,
get a
you
lot
don't, but you also don't get very many of the Disney attacks. They are about just as likely.
I know, but they're kind of constantly keep using those attacks, like Hercules Boulder Toss, like every 5 seconds. He's like doing that to an enemy. I'm like, no, that's like a one-shot for an enemy. I wanted it to be challenging here. They're turning that off.
Challenging, says the person who died to the Titans how many times? I would say that's more than enough challenge.
Yeah, a lot. But, I mean, that was just in that playthrough, and I was kind of being stupid. But I was just kind of having fun with
What,
it.
were you
That's
waiting
why
for
I
the
died.
attraction flow commands to bail you out after you turned them off?
No. No, I don't use attraction rides. I turn those off too.
Yeah. No, that was the one thing that definitely did need a nerf, though, because that was just like a free win.
I know, right? I mean, I'm really glad they turned that off. Critical Converter was a godsend to all of us. Because every 5 minutes, every 5 seconds, it popped up. And he would accidentally hit triangle.
Like, we get
And
it's a
then
Disney property, but the funny thing is, for the most part, we just want as little Disney as possible. We don't want to see a Disney ride every 0.6 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, yes, it was cute at the beginning. Yes, I did like the teacups, and I did like the carousel. And I liked the big choo-choo train.
I liked all
Big
of the
Thunder
attraction
Mountain.
flows in the
What?
beginning, but they just kill every single piece of difficulty when it
Yeah,
comes to
I
all
know,
of
it's
the
just-
multi-encounters.
It's
Like, you can use those against fucking Xehanort! That shouldn't be allowed at all!
No, it just completely destroys the flow of battle and the seriousness of it.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
destroy Xehanort
Even
with
inside of the
teacups,
most
and that
intense
stuff's-
moments, it like turns the music up on its head too.
Right. It's like we were spinning in teacups and having a blast while we're taking down like the hardest enemy in the game.
I'm highly tempted to
can
just
go
farm
through
until
that.
I have second chance because I just cannot take one hit from this guy.
We're going through like a war gauntlet here. Let's ride in teacups. Let's ride on the carousel. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm turning that
Yeah.
off.
My least favorite thing was how it changed the music.
Yeah, right. It changed it from seriousness to just playful, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. So I'm really glad Square listened to us there.
Yeah.
It even outlined it in a different color. Attraction flows will no longer appear.
Yeah.
As if to say, we got it, guys. We heard your complaints. We're changing it. We got it.
Yeah, that was just such a nice thing.
Yeah, it was a very nice thing that they did. I mean, yes, people still use it, but still, I mean,
At least they
It's
gave
now
it
once
the
a-
option.
right. It's a toggle on and off option. So that was really nice.
And I think that's the best way to do it, because there's a lot of games that would just get rid of something like that completely. And in all
Yeah.
honesty, I don't think that's what you wanted to do. It's nice to have the option there.
Yeah.
Because some people are going to enjoy the faction flows, and some people just really want it to be a lot more difficult.
Right, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time, like in prod mode, before there was critical, every time, 5 seconds.
And people might just be cocky and be like, oh, if you don't like it, why don't you use it? Why does it give me the option to just be like, hey, I win?
Exactly, right? It's like, and everybody's like, oh, wait, well, don't press the triangle button. I'm kind of pressing the triangle button to do a special attack, or like to shoot some
We just
grand
don't
magic
want it to
at
appear. It's just that
right,
unfair.
and then you accidentally press it, and then you accidentally use it, and then you have to back out of it. It's like, it just completely destroys
the game
the flow of
shouldn't
that.
have something that broken in the first place.
Right.
The problem is, it's a main mechanic. It's like if you hit the X button and you hit in one shot at your opponent. It's not something we want, and we know we just don't have to hit that button. But the button is there, and it's in our face at all times.
Right. And we're accidentally going to press that button. Or accidentally going to just go over it and press it. Because it's there. So I'm just so glad they got rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad there's on and off button. And to make it even more nice, it only costs like 1 AP.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost like 3 or 5. So that's also nice. I'm like, it's just 1 AP to use. That's good. It's good.
Yeah. Seriously, when do you get Dark Barrier? That is so annoying not to have.
Not exactly sure. What level are you?
Like, the thing about Dark Barrier, it was the only way to block in the air in this game, and my god, just imagine if you couldn't block in the air in Cage 3.
Oh god.
Like, people always complained about how, you know, the floaty combat of all of the Cage games after 2, and it's very true, and it wouldn't be that bad if it wasn't for the fact of, you know, you just cannot block in the air, which is not something that should be happen. And you shouldn't have to jump up in the air for, like, all of your combos and be completely vulnerable during it. That just extends the gameplay. Hey, you literally just have to play very defensive, and that's a very boring way of playing.
I mean, yeah, I get you there, but I've kind of grown used to that. Some people were actually happy that you can finally block in the air, because they did it. They could like always get like cheap shotted from the back, or like from the side if you don't turn. Fast
I mean, if you want to look at it at its worst, look at freaking 0.8. That entire game you can't block in the air, and there was, because of like every single one of her combos bringing you up into the air, you're just wide open and vulnerable. All you can really do is hit like the X button twice on critical mode before having to just stop, wait, and do it again, or else you'll just get cheap shotted.
Yeah. So the block in the air was a godsend to some people and to me. Because we don't want to get cheap shot in the air.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can just extend our gameplay. So, like you said. Yeah, some people are mad about it, but it's like, it is actually a godsend when you think about it, because you don't want to get cheap shotted.
Yeah.
You can still easily die from an early or late block. Yeah, you can do that, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have died from an early or late block.
Yeah, there still is some strategy to it. It's just a thing of, if the game is going to have all of our combos take place in the air, we shouldn't get punished for attacking. Especially when we're attacking when we're supposed to, like when you were, you know, doing a combo on an opponent that just got done doing their combo and you dodged it.
And then it's pretty much like you're left open for like 5 seconds, and then whoops, you got hit. Nope, you died.
Yeah, exactly.
Black screen, go away.
Yeah, I've almost killed the boss at this point.
And I have missed, like, most of it.
Yeah. How's work been going for you?
Good. Good. I have a late shift tomorrow. I have to work till 9. I hate the night shifts because everything was by so slow.
Really?
Yep. Yep. Night shifts, because...
Hey, one.
Okay, so,
Sorry,
so
I was saying
like,
I will.
okay.
The thing about this boss is that it goes into like a powered down state after a certain HP point, and you have to use the reaction command, and he does this 3 times, and on the 3rd time the reaction command kills it. So that's I was just kind of saying it prematurely because he was knocked down for the 3rd time. TKO out of nowhere. I'm just on the ending cutscene. Go ahead.
So, yeah, because the store, like, dies around, like, 5 p.m. Like, around 5, 6 p.m. So, after that, it's, like, 7, 8, 9. Everything is dead. Nobody's coming in. And then there's, like, nothing to do. So it's very slow, and I hate it. I like fast days.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Clue.
So tomorrow's gonna be like half slow, half fast.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be busy today, but apparently that is on the 19th, and now they're postponing it even more. Yeah, I just have something I'm dealing with right now.
So what are they postponing?
Like I said, I just have something I'm dealing with right now.
Okay.
Go.
Let's just say it's the reason why I'm taking care of the bills.
I see.
Clue. Remember what you came for.
You might have to restart the stream. It's
Maybe.
not going back.
It only
Yes,
came
I-
back for like, what, 0.6 seconds?
Yep. And then it died. And it's like, hey, here's the boss battle. Oh, nope, we're taking it away. You wanted to see the fight? There it is for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Why? He's my son.
Just 5 seconds were probably me just getting beaten up by undodgeable disc anyways.
Right.
The reason I was bringing up the entire point of the floaty combat is the thing about the command mantis fight is the way that you fight him, you have to jump up into the air to attack him. However, all of his attacks happen and as projectiles that go flying, which means that they'll hit you in the air while you're comboing him after you dodge, because they'll turn back around and there's no way to block. This is also why it's much easier to beat Julius with Riku than it is with Sora. For 2 specific reasons. Hence, 1, Dark Dodge is completely invincible, which is unique to Riku. And 2, because once again, you can use the Dark Guard while in the air, so you can do a combo, Julius will try to counterattack, and you can predict it, stop it, and then keep your combo going. With Sora, the only way that you can dodge like the majority of his big attacks, for example that one where he climbs up top of the building, you have to glide. You have to jump up into the air and then glide around in a circle and just wait for him to bumbling bounce his way back down.
Which I have not tried that yet.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of dodge rolling and like trying to flow motion away from him.
No.
That's not
Oh, if
happening.
he's
Oh my God,
using
I'm
like
back.
his really big tracking moves, like when he jumps into the top of the tower and then comes back down, you just have to get really high up and glide around in a circle.
Okay.
If you're Riku, you can just dodge roll out of the way. Hey, but the AoE is just too big for you to do that with Sora. Even if you have Sora's improved just the spark dodge.
Mhm.
It's not over. There are more trials ahead we have to overcome.
Like I said, it's always been funny that inside of this game specifically, Riku was just a better character. in both claims of like bosses that he fought. I had seen how he has the final boss, his and all the extra like hard stuff he has to go through, and the fact that his entire character is just built way better in my opinion. Sora has his classic techniques that he had back in KH1, but Riku got techniques that are just so much better. That's actually one of the reasons I am so beyond excited for KH3. He's Oblivion.
Yeah.
Because the Oblivion allows you to go into a dark mode, and we've only had screenshots of it so far, but I noticed this right away. You have Dark Guard.
I kind of noticed that too. I was like, is that Dark Guard? I'm not exactly sure, but is it?
Yes, that is Dark Guard, with the only very different being that there's chains around the Dark Guard, which looks even cooler.
Yeah, right. I mean, the chains look amazing with that. Like, that is so cool.
Anyways, hopefully the stream doesn't come back on, because you know what time it is now that we're done with Digital Land?
It already came back on.
Oh, then you already see.
Yeah, I see. The fun part.
The fun part!
The fun part, yeah.
Yay! Who doesn't love watching animals beat the holy shit?
Fights, but yeah, there's also cards involved. Exactly right.
God, this is so OP.
And now it went to black screen again.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So it finally came back, but yet when you actually go to play Flick Rush, it says, okay, you had your 5 seconds of looking at the game, now we're going back to play Flick Rush, and it's not actual gameplay, so we're going back to black screen. Alright, however, when it's entering, like, an important part of the gameplay, you know, not Flick Rush, the cool parts are actually black screened. So apparently the universe doesn't like you playing this game.
Yeah, like I said, hey, I think it's just this game in general. Oh, I don't know why, but this is like a game that just does not function.
The universe just doesn't like you playing this game.
Yeah, I don't get it, but it just doesn't, so, oh well. Either way, I'm having plenty of fun ripping everything into parts with my dino.
I'm sure you are.
It's so funny, especially when you do Dino Bite against something like the S-Car Ghost Snail. Because when you do that, it's just so funny, because basically what happens is you just pick them up, they go into the shell, and you just keep shaking them around until they get out of it. Like, rawr, 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 get out, get out, get out, get out. That I do really like Flick Rush for another reason, and you get to see your spirit's unique attacks, because a lot of times in the midst of combat, you really don't get to see that.
No.
Because you're too busy concentrating on the enemy and your own fighting that you don't see your spirits running around and trying to do their best.
Right.
In fact, that's actually why you'll often see me switch out the dino in the middle of combat, simply because, while he's absolutely godlike against smaller enemies, against big enemies like other Tyrannos, he's kind of bad. Like, the stun still works sometimes, but the thing is, you can't use the Dino Bite, which is like the main reason you want to use him. So funny enough, you don't want to fight big with big, unless you're using like something like a Kuma Panda. Instead, you actually want to switch to a small, which looks like you would be at a disadvantage. But a lot of small creatures have combo attacks. For example, Sukakuru has like 5 attacks in one with his Froggy combo. So that is so much better, because you can keep breaking the opponent and they have nothing they can do about it. I just like Flick Rush because of how like non-tedious it is. You can play it on your own time, and there's not even any like luck involved. Once you get it started, it's good. Like I said, like for the trophies and all the leveling there's not even a grinding aspect to it. You just have to play, and you get it done the second you get stuff done.
Maybe I should play it right now.
I mean, hey, if you use your dino, you might like it. It's more fun than Chain of Memories, and that's saying something.
Yeah, right. The only good thing about Chain of Memories was the story and was the boss battles. The boss battles and the story were the only good things about Chain of Memories. That's it. That's it.
It's true. It is. I really liked playing this with my friends. Because the great thing about this is you could actually, like, fight your spirits against each other back on the 3DS.
Yeah, right, you could have.
Yeah, it was so fun. I used to do it all the time at school.
So you can, like, pretty much have a Pokemon battle right there.
Yeah, exactly.
The Kingdom Hearts Pokemon battle, right?
And the best part is you could use whatever freaking Pokemon you wanted, essentially. Because in Pokemon, if you try to take, like, on a fully evolved Pokemon with your tiny little Charmander, nothing, there's no, like, strategy that you can physically have to win that. It's just you are dead.
You're doomed.
Yes, you can have something as early as a Meow Wow win. Especially since Meow Wow is actually good. I'm not kidding, Meow Wow is actually a really good unit in this, and you know why?
Why?
Because he has an ability called Bounce Wow, which hits like 7 times, and you can reload all your cards while doing it.
Ooh, okay, I guess it's handy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And not to mention, there's also kind of a rock, paper, scissors thing in this game where, like, small melee units do better against ranged units, while flying unit hits do really good against small units, but they do horrible against ranged.
So basically, it's like Pokemon.
Kind of. Except instead of types, you just have how the spirit fights. A good example is, like, the Eagles. A lot of their attacks, they, like, back way the hell up before they do them. And let's say your opponent's about to do a really big attack. If they're, like, a really small guy, they'll just keep running at you, and you'll just keep backing up, and they'll never hit you. They'll just do their attack before they ever get the chance, and then right when they're done with their attack, you'll come in for the sweeping blow. However, if you're using a ranged unit, they try to back up, and you shoot them out of the air, and they just sit there dumbfounded like, what the f*** just happened? But if you have a little ranged unit versus a little guy, then the little guy gets up on close, and then the ranged unit becomes not a ranged unit, it becomes a punching bag. And let me just tell you this. Really, really don't want your spirits becoming punching bags.
Because they could die easily.
Yeah. The ranged units don't have much HP. And as I've already told you, there are certain things you can only get through Flick Rush. For example, if you want all the trophies, guess what other trophy is 100% you need to do Flick Rush for? Getting all of the spirits. You know why?
Why?
A huge amount of the spirits can only be gotten with Flick Rush medals.
You gross.
For example, the Panda Kuma, the R&R Seal, the Sound Rickroll, and my personal favorite, Meowjesty, a gigantic, fat Meow Wow with a crown on his ass.
Aww.
And he is the biggest, most adorable thing. Like, his size is like the size of Meow Wow when they absorb something. Hey, like, you know that ultimate where they turn into a big guy?
Yes.
They're about as big as that all the time. He literally looks like something that Sora could just sleep on top of, like a Toro.
Aww, that's so cute.
And he's so soft and fluffy. He even, like, bounces and deflates just like the actual one.
Aww. I want to get him now.
Yeah, Meowjesty is by far my favorite hit of all of that. Or like all of the super unique ones. Only one gigantic problem.
What?
Guess how you get him?
How?
You need 2,000 medals. And you need to be level 20, the max level. Which means you have to be a god at Flick Rush. Or just do a lot of farming. This, yes, you can't farm. Or you can just do all the missions once. And if you're like me and you just do all the missions once, it's done and over with within a few minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to take longer than that, especially if you don't know what you're doing, but at the very least, there isn't any needless grinding involved, unless you really are bad at Flick Rush and just want to spam the beginner's cup over and over.
I might do that. I'm playing Flick Rush right now. Why? Why am I putting myself through this torture?
Because you want to see your cute spirits in action and want to see what they can do. Or who knows, maybe you just have some really cool ones and you want to see them rip the shit out of the cute ones. I mean, that's basically what the T-Rex is doing. Right now, since I'm still in the early game, I'm fighting a bunch of small guys, and I'm just tearing through them right now.
Well, I'm currently tearing through this Meow Wow. On beginners, but, you know, it's something.
Yeah. And remember, the block button is there for a reason. You won't need to use the block button in like very early game, but eventually it's going to become like a necessity. Because here's the thing, every single card you use takes up energy. Did you notice that?
Yes, I do.
But if you block, it does not take up any energy. And if you successfully block an attack, you'll get a super attack. For example, with Meow Wow, you get the ability to use, what's it called? Elixir, which heals your entire team and resets all of their cards without you having to reload. For the T-Rex and a lot of other fire-type units, they get Mega Flare, which does damage to your entire opponent's team. If you have any questions about what a move does, just ask and I could probably give you a rough estimate.
Okay.
I know what all of the block attacks do. I don't know what all of, like, the unique spirit attacks are. I am currently in the 10-pin cup right now. Ooh, another snail! I'm gonna eat it!
Escargot right there.
Yep. Nom 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 nom. You taste like a pile of shit. Oh god, he used gravity on me!
You win! Even though I was just a beginner.
It still feels good to win.
I guess.
Unique black screen.
Still black screen? Oof.
Still black screen, yes.
You see, I would refresh it, but here's the thing. Hey, if I do, it's probably just gonna black screen as soon as I get in here because Flick Rush.
Right. Right. There's really no point in refreshing it. It's going to go black screen and Flick Rush.
Yeah. Cause I'm TNT, Dino Bite. Oh god, they took the T-Rex down! This was not in the game plan!
Who killed the T-Rex?
A fish! A very scary, spooky fish!
Ah!
I'm trying to currently kill the fish with my fish. My doggy has the hiccups. So tell me exactly, how can an undead fish die?
I have no idea.
Because when the fish dies, it just like falls over upside down as if it like was an actual fish. Like, you ever wonder why fish go upside down when they die? That never made sense to me.
No, not me either. Maybe it kind of releases something in their body. And then it just kind of makes them so light that they just float up to the top and their stomachs are the first to hit upside down.
Yeah, maybe.
But they're so small, what can be released inside of their body when they die? That makes them so light that they kind of like twist upside down.
I'm not exactly sure. Not it! I just watched a seahorse dodge an attack while they were stunned.
I lose!
You lost? What happened?
Yep. I don't know, my T-Rex and my two... I think I might have to change my team. My T-Rex and my two giant falcon bird things died.
What happened?
I don't know.
Did you spam X? Never spam X.
I spammed X.
Why would you spam X?
I don't know, I'm just choosing different cards here. Alright, I'm bringing my seahorses in.
I actually think that might be a good idea, because I'm pretty sure those are ranged people.
Right.
I'm fighting a very angry...
Damn, the Rangers! Woohoo! They're pretty good.
Makes sense.
Eh.
Ow. 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 What do you mean you threw 3 walks up into the sky? Ow. Ow. Oh god. This was not in the game plan. Did the screen stop being black?
No.
Why does it do this?
Die, you piece of trash.
What are you even stuck on?
I'm still in beginner mode.
Wait,
Yes,
really?
I die every second here. The second phase.
That is big goof.
Yeah, maybe.
Nom 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 nom. I'm eating a tiny cat. I am dead.
Yay, I won.
There you go. Was that
Yay.
so hard? Really
No.
shouldn't be.
After I brought my seahorses in, it actually got work. It actually got better.
That's good.
I almost said it actually got worse. No, it actually got better.
Big goof.
Like, hey, yay.
Mega flare. Oh shit! He bring out big Tyranno.
Oh,
God, I love the skeleton fish's secret ability. Whenever you get broken as the fish, he will automatically turn into his broken down mode, which means he's completely invincible. So if you just don't hit any button inputs, you can actually dodge whatever attack your opponent's doing.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to restart the stream because I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah, it's not coming back.
Bad stream.